Good morning. Good morning. Welcome or welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Wednesday. No, yes, Wednesday. uh, August the 13th. We are here to look at the new releases in crime fiction and thrillers that were published in this week. And we do these every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, which is why my brain is scrambled because we used to do them every day, but now we're doing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And Elena says, I wasn't home yesterday. I had 2 classes, boxing with Tristan and Sagira and Zumba with Coach Will. Wow, you were busy. And she says, good morning. And I say, good morning. How are you doing? And she says, I am good. And how are you? I am doing good too. Thank you very much. All right, let us jump in. Quick announcements as we do this. I don't have any sprints tonight. I don't do them on Wednesday night. Our next sprints are tomorrow night, Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. my time. And they go for 2.5 hours. First up, Karen Slaughter has a new one. It's a start of a new series. We Are All Guilty Here, a North Falls thriller. Welcome to North Falls, a small town where everyone knows everyone, or so they think. Until the night of the fireworks, when 2 teenage girls vanish and the town ignites. For Officer Emmy Clifton, it's personal. She turned away when her best friend's daughter needed help, and now she must bring her home. But as Emmy combs through the puzzle the girls left behind, she realizes she never really knew them. Nobody did. Every teenage girl has secrets, but who would kill for them, and what else is the town hiding? And I forgot to click on it, so we'll give it its moment here. We are all guilty here. I don't believe that. I Found a Body by Becky C. Brinolf. Detective Sergeant Mona Hendricks has a lot on her plate. She's getting divorced, her teenage daughter is punishing her for it, and she's shooting for a life-changing promotion. When her daughter's favorite influencer, Kylie Mae, finds a dead body and live streams it to the world, Mona is thrown into a very public murder investigation. Mona, a seasoned detective, is trying her best to conduct a proper investigation based on good old-fashioned police work. But when Kylie decides to solve the case herself, their dueling investigations hamper all efforts to identify the killer. 9 years later, Mona has hit rock bottom and the case remains unsolved. When Kylie, now a sleek TV contrarian, approaches Mona with a high-paying offer to reopen the cold case, Mona has no choice but to accept and hope things will be different this time around. Doesn't say what her daughter's name is. Interesting. Bless Your Heart by Lee Dunlap. Motherhood and murder link 5 very different women when a working-class detective clashes with wealthy moms in this thriller. Anderson Tupper, a member of one of Atlanta's richest families, has been murdered in the dugout of the Little League field where he was a volunteer coach, and it's up to Detective Shay Claypool, a single mother from the other side of town, to find his killer. With the exclusive area of Buckhead threatening to secede from the city of Atlanta and take its tax revenue with it, Shay is under pressure to solve the murder of one of Buckhead's own. Accustomed to handling drug dealers and prostitutes, she must now contend with a more sinister group. The Buckhead Bettys, the insufferably entitled women of Georgia's most affluent zip code. One of them might be a murderer, but who? Is it the old money queen of Buckhead, the mysterious new girl in town, the drug-dealing trophy wife? I should start doing warm-up exercises to get my mouth going. A Killer Getaway by Sienna Sharp. Falling in love can be murder. No one in Lily Lennox's life can understand why, for each of the past 5 summers, she has left her successful business behind to work a lifeguarding job at the exclusive Riovan Wellness Resort on a sun-soaked Caribbean island. Fortunately for her, they also aren't aware of the mysterious deaths that occur on the island every time she's there. You see, Lily has a secret. She's determined to make toxic people pay for the damage they do, and she's very good at getting away with it. But this summer, there's a problem in the form of a very attractive guest, Daniel Black, who is asking a few too many inconvenient questions. Hoping to lead him off her trail, Lily decides to keep her enemy close, but as their attraction grows into something much deeper, Lily's plans start to unravel because Daniel is set on finding the murderer, and Lily plans to get away with it, no matter what. End of row one. I'm sorry, murderers should not be cute and get away with it. That's just a moral compass thing. Yes, I get that it's entertaining. Yes. Blah, blah, blah. Just Another Dead Author by Katarina Bivald. When mystery author Barrett Gardner agrees to attend a writer's conference in the idyllic French countryside, she dreams of basking in the sun and nurturing budding talent. But her vacation takes a dark turn when the keynote speaker, a notorious literary titan known for his biting critiques, drops dead at the end of her lecture as... Okay. She's there lecturing, got it. As whispers of foul play swirl, Barrett quickly realizes she stepped into a tangled web of jealousy, betrayal, and long-held grudges. You should probably be doing drive-bys here, because there's a lot. The Gossip Columnist's Daughter by Peter Orner. A cold case of a young Hollywood starlet's death sets a contemporary writer on an epic and comic quest to uncover the truth and its connection to his own family. This appears to be a debut, and looks like it is set in 1962, or the cold case was in 1962. Too Old for This by Samantha Downing. A retired serial killer's quiet life is upended by an unexpected visitor. To protect her secret, there's only one option left. What's another murder? Lottie Jones thought her crimes were behind her. Decades earlier, she changed her identity and tucked herself away in a small town. Her most exciting nights are the weekly bingo games at the local church and gossiping with her friends. When investigative journalist Plum Dixon shows up on her doorstep asking questions about Lottie's past and specifically her involvement with numerous unsolved cases, well, Lottie just can't have that. Lime Juice Money by Joe Morey. This is another debut. Follows a woman trapped in an increasingly volatile relationship 5,000 miles from home in a Central American jungle. A woman losing herself, a brutal relationship, and a jungle full of secrets. When disaster strikes, hearing-impaired Lelia Wild leaves London with her new partner, Adrian, and her young children, hoping for a fresh start in the verdant jungle of Belize. There, she can be closer to her botanist father, get away from her sister, and maybe find a way to open the restaurant she's always dreamed of. And then things go bad. End of that row. Yeah, you see why we have to do drive-bys? There's a lot here. I forgot. Good morning, Cajun. That could be true story, the Buckhead one. And Elena says, good morning to Kim. Stillwater by Tanya Scott. For fans of Jack Reacher. This is a debut thriller. Introduces readers to Luke Harris, a man trying to move beyond his criminal past but finds himself forced back into his old life. Pull me back in. And a deadly battle to survive. High Season by Katie Bishop. Yep. Never speak of that summer. Okay, moving on. No. On a beautiful summer's night 20 years ago, troubled 17-year-old Tamara Drayton was found floating face down in the pool of her family's idyllic mansion in the south of France, leaving her twin brother, Golden Boy Blake, to pick up the pieces of their shattered family. Also left behind was their sister Nina, who at 6 years old became the youngest person ever to testify in a French murder trial because she's the only one who saw what happened, who watched as her babysitter, Josie Jackson, pushed Tamara under the water and held her there until she stopped breathing. Didn't she? 20 years later, Nina's memories have faded, leaving her with no idea of what really transpired that night. When a true crime documentary about her sister's murder is announced, Nina thinks this might be her chance to finally find out. We've got some themes of serial killers and France so far. The Witch's Orchard by Archer Sullivan. A ninth-generation Appalachian, Archer Sullivan brings the mountains of North Carolina to life. Introduces private investigator Annie Gore. Former Air Force Special Investigator Annie Gore joins the military right after high school to escape the fraught home life of her childhood. Now she's getting by as a private investigator. Her latest case takes her to an Appalachian holler not unlike the one where she grew up. 10 years ago, 3 little girls went missing from their tiny mountain town. While one was returned, the others were never seen again. After all this time without answers, the brother of one of the girls wants to hire an outsider, and he wants Annie. While she may not be from his town, she gets mountain towns, mountain people. Driving back into the hills for a case this old, it might be a fool's errand, but Annie needs to put money in the bank, and she can't turn down a case, not even one that dredges up her own painful past. An Evil Premise by T. Marie Vandelli. Meta-novel? When a bizarre accident leaves her sister, best-selling author Deidre Baldwin, in a coma and suffering from a grotesque skin malady, Jewel rushes to her bedside. Though the sisters are not close, she's determined to do what she can for Deidre. Staying at her sister's apartment, Jewel stumbles upon an unfinished manuscript, the one that Deidre was rushing to complete for her publisher. When Deidre's literary agent calls in a panic, Jewel, a self-published writer herself, desperate for a break, suggests she can finish it by the deadline, but the story is unsettling, etc. End of that row. Oh goodness, yes, we totally have to do drive-bys here. Gone in the Night by Joanna Schaffhausen. This is 5th in the Detective Annalise Vega series. Gone in the Night, if I hadn't mentioned that. Oh, there's a fun last name. Sean Klomp-Parens. This is Kingfisher 7. After a cutting-edge rocket explodes on launch, intelligence expert and former spy Jake Moran sets out on a high-stakes mission to find the truth in order to save the operation and countless lives. Karen Rose has a new one. Knife in the Back, 4th in the New Orleans series. Featuring Officer Naomi Cranston. Was framed for stealing cocaine from the evidence locker and coerced through threats to her young son into not fighting the charges. After 5 years in prison, she has tried to put the ordeal behind her. I don't think that was the right choice. Kiss Her Goodbye. Lisa Gardner has a new one. 4th in the Frankie Elkin series. Frankie is called to Tucson, Arizona to find a missing Afghan refugee whose friend suspects she is in grave danger before it's too late. End of that row. Nights on Graveyard Watch by T.B. Pascoe. Veteran officer, excuse me, Danilo Venko, an overweight white dinosaur knocking on the door of 50, works the graveyard shift. What's wrong with 50's not old? Graveyard shift in the beleaguered 7th Precinct under an oppressive commander. It couldn't get much worse, and yet it does with a cold case. Venko is assigned to train rookie officer Marcus McGee, an African-American Gen Z member who spends more time watching his phone than the streets. The pair are assigned a cold case of 2 missing teens abducted 27 years apart, etc. Peter Miles Has to Die by Katie Collum. What happens when 3 women decide to avenge the murder of their best friend? Peter Miles has to die, and Dylan Darcy, Priya Shah, and Isabel Guerrero, a bartender, a nurse, and a student, have to be the ones to kill him. As they see it, this local cop deserves death for murdering their best friend and getting away with it. All they need to do is pull off the perfect crime. To do it is stick to their carefully prepared plan. That's exactly what they do. Murder, it turns out, is surprisingly easy when you're fueled by revenge. What comes after is the hard part. She Didn't Stand a Chance by Stacey Gray. The desert heat can be deadly, but nothing kills like a cold heart. The Bait by Robin Delvey, second in the Eve Wren series. He's been getting away with murder. Can one woman stop him? When a young woman falls to her death from a central London bridge, the police rule it suicide until a witness comes forward with shocking footage of the moment she was pushed. The attacker is identified as Bradley Aspen, the son of an attaché to the U.S. Embassy in London, giving him diplomatic immunity from prosecution. Well, here's a question. He's the son of, but not the. So why should he get diplomatic immunity? The Hotel by Kit Duffield. It's the perfect getaway. Will they make it out alive? Something magical is just what I've been looking for. I've never felt good enough amongst my husband's richer friends, but a Valentine's weekend in a stunning new hotel in Finnish Lapland is our chance to shine. The staff promise perfection by recreating our fondest memories, the happiest moments of our lives. When we arrive, they play our favorite songs while we sip the champagne from our wedding night. That evening, we share the dinner from our first date under a starry sky. The morning after, I wake alone and find my husband in the swimming pool with another woman. There are certain memories I would rather forget, but they seem to be coming back to haunt us. My husband promised he would change, but can I trust the man I married? No. Upstanding Young Man by Sharon Doring. In a quiet Chicago suburb, a star wrestler goes missing weeks before his high school graduation, shattering his mother's carefully curated image of domestic bliss. Wounds by Sarah Bladel and Mads Peter Nordbo. This is a working translation. From Denmark's best-selling suspense giants comes the sizzling conclusion to this crime duology, perfect for fans of Joe Nesbo and Lars Kepler, or Sarah Bladel and Mads Peter Nordbo. When a body is discovered in an abandoned building, Denmark police investigators Liam Stark and Dia Torp are called to the scene to investigate. They learn that the victim has several shallow wounds all over his body that were inflicted over the span of several weeks. While a pile of open cases, including 2 missing teenage girls, Liam and Dia are staggering under the weight of their already heavy caseload. Tension in town heats up when 2 more bodies are discovered with the same shallow wounds as the first victim, and their suspects list has dried up. Liam and Dia come to the alarming conclusion that they have another serial killer on their hands, and it's only a matter of time before they strike again. As the investigation continues, Liam and Dia worry that the missing teens might be connected to the murders. As the clock ticks down, they have to uncover who is killing these victims and if they can bring the girls home before they're next under the killer's knife. All right, that is what we have. Karen Slaughter, Becky C. Brinolf, Lee Dunlap, Sienna Sharp, Katarina Bivold. This was Peter something. Hard to see. Samantha Downing, Joe Morey, Tanya Scott, Katie Bishop, Archer Sullivan, T. Marie Vandely, Joanna Schaffhausen, Sean Klomp-Perrins, Karen Rose, Lisa Gardner, TV Pasco, Katie Collum, Stacy Gray, Robin Delvey, Kit Duffield, Sharon Doring, and Sarah Bladel and Mads Peter Nordbo are your authors of the crime fiction and thrillers of this week. Elena says hello to Cajun and see you Friday and Saturday. Awesome. All righty. That is all that we have. We did do drive-bys, so we got done a little bit sooner, but that's okay. If anything struck your fancy, please check them out further. On Friday, we'll be looking at the rest of the cozy mysteries that we started with on Monday. There's always a lot of those. And Elena reminds us, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom, nom. Thank you very much indeed. So I hope you have a very good day. Again, I don't have any sprints tonight. Our next sprints are tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. Eastern for 2.5 hours. Read good books, be safe, stay cool. It's hot out there right now. And as Elena reminded us, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom, nom. Have a good day and God bless.